We should mention that it's hard for us to imagine that there was a time when this kind of machine was one of the only forms of entertainment that people had.
Right.
That listening to records was a very special thing.
Yeah.
I like to imagine the time when, there's a farmer in Kansas. It's 1910, and he finally saved up enough money, and he's looking through the Sears catalog, and he orders a gramophone. And then a month later, it arrives in a wooden crate, and the family's all gathered around as they're opening it up, and they put on their first record, and it's the first time they're hearing recorded sound. It's hard for us to imagine that. We're inundated with sound all the time. Elevators, greeting cards, your phone, everything. But it's hard to imagine what that impact was like for people.
There's a story in a Billy Murray biography that I think was written by 3 different authors, and there was a woman's account in it where she was seeing, I think it was the Victor 8 was on tour, and that included Billy Murray, and she says she remembers seeing that concert and remembers it more fondly than her wedding day. Because for years, you got a picture that they, like you said, they were getting these records and listening to the phonograph, and didn't come with liner notes, and she didn't know what he looked like. And she said, he wasn't as handsome as I thought he would be in my head, listening to all these songs. He was a little more stout, and but she said she remembers it. It's like she would never forget that concert. I was just touched by it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, we've shared a lot of music together and a lot of times, and obviously I'm a little older than you. I call Mike my younger, better looking version of myself. When I introduce him out to people, he's good to have around. He makes me look good. But sometimes he asks me for advice from time to time.
I ask a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So
I look up to you.
It reminds me of a song that people give advice with.
Okay.
Hey, why don't we do that song?
Let's do that song. Let's see if people know it.
Let's see it. Let's go.
Good evening, Mr. Gallagher.
Good evening, Mr. Shean.
There is something that is troubling me.
That is very plainly seen.
Mr. Gallagher, I'm a simple man. I never yell nor shout.
Mr. Shean, if you'll confide in me, I'll try and help you out.
Well, Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, hello.
Oh, Mr. Gallagher.
What is it?
Do you think it's wrong for a man to strike his wife?
Strike his wife?
Suppose she goes out every night and comes home and starts a fight. How can a man deal with such treatment all his life?
Well, no, but Mr. Shean, a man who'll raise his wife to his hand to and mean.
Indeed.
If you can remember, use your hand. If it's more than you can stand.
Use diplomacy, Mr. Gallagher.
Use a sandbag, Mr. Shean.
Oh, Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, hello.
Mr. Gallagher.
I'm right here.
There was a tiny little baby born last night.
No.
Yes, he was just as black as ink. Weighed a half a pound, I think. How can a baby be so dark and yet so light?
Ha, Mr. Shean. Mr. Shean. That is the funniest color scheme I've ever seen. But I know a hen who's black as night, who can lay an egg that's white.
Why, that's nothing, Mr. Gallagher.
Let's see you do it, Mr. Shean.
Oh, Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, hello.
Mr. Gallagher.
Well, what is it?
Every morning in the bathroom I reduce.
You reduce?
I bend over, up and down. Every day I lose a pound. The only suit of clothes I own is getting loose.
You be careful, Mr. Shean. Mr. Shean. Exercising in the bathroom's quite a scene. When you bend over, take a care if there's a radiator there.
Suppose there is one, Mr. Gallagher.
Be sure to face it, Mr. Shean.
Oh, Mr. Gallagher.
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Gallagher.
What do you want?
When you're driving home tonight, you'll get a big surprise.
I will?
When your car is drawing near, you will surely shed a tear when you see that shining light up in the sky.
I know, Mr. Shean. Mr. Shean, I've made that trip before, so I know just what you mean. But there's one light that's so bright, it's the brightest in the night. No, it's right here in Monty Hall, Mr. Shean. Ah, we got every cliche ending. I love it. I love it.
That was the original version.
Yeah. Mr. Gallagher and Mr. Shean.
Yeah.
Who, and Al Shean was Groucho Marx's uncle.
Right, he was the uncle to all the Marx brothers. He didn't dismiss the rest of the Marx brothers.
That's right.
I'm just gonna be your uncle. The
Did
rest
he,
of you get lost.
Did he include Zeppo?
He included all 5 of them.
And wasn't there another one that was like no?
Milton?
There was another one who was sort of Gummo. That's right, Gummo, the failure. I don't know. What
No,
did Gummo do?
he didn't go into show business. He dropped
Dropped
out
out.
early.
Did he? What did he make of himself?
He was a businessman.
Okay, very good.